Hey, what's up you guys? It's Victoria. So today's video is going to be for all of my self-proclaimed nerds out there, myself included for sure. It's going to be about 3 research-based secrets that you need to know if you want to master the American accent and sound like a native English speaker. So part of it's just my personality, part of it is my background in speech-language pathology, but whenever I tell my clients to do something, I want to make sure that it's actually founded in good science and that it's backed by research. So accent acquisition is really unique, and that's because it doesn't belong to one sole profession. So speech-language pathologists, educators, neuroscientists, voice coaches, all these individuals research and work in this field. So I think it's really fun to read up on research from domains that aren't my own to get a really unique perspective on how to really optimize this process for my clients. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 3 bits of research that I think are going to be really helpful for you as you go on this American accent learning journey. So the first secret is to slow down the playback speed. Now this research has been duplicated across domains, including in linguistics and neuroscience, but it says over and over that if we listen at a reduced speed, so if the phonemes are exaggerated, we're going to be able to perceive them more easily and to encode them more easily. So basically what that means is if English isn't your first language, you're going to be better able to pick out tiny details that you currently may be missing, and then you're going to be able to encode them, so put them into your memory so that you can actually retrieve them later and speak naturally and spontaneously. It's really simple to slow back the playback speed. You can do it right in your YouTube settings. You can now do it on TED.com if you're watching a TED Talk. You can slow down the playback speed on Youglish.com, which I talk about frequently. So many different websites are allowing you to do this literally with one click. So take advantage and use this strategy, and you're going to be able to perceive and remember more easily. So the second secret, you guys, is to watch the speaker's face. How does it move? What shape does it make? This is really important, especially in North American English, because how the muscles of the face move, especially for those tense vowels, actually carries a lot of information. It's also really important to look at a large variety of speakers' faces, meaning don't just get stuck on one actress that you really like because maybe she falls on one extreme or the other, meaning maybe she talks but she barely moves her face, or maybe she really moves her face more than average, right? So you want to look at different people just to get a feel for what do they look like. So doing this kind of an exercise is helpful to gain awareness and just for your conscious mind to observe. However, the research shows that looking at the speaker's face actually enhances our auditory perceptual skills. Now, this is especially true if the acoustic signal has been degraded. So if we're in a noisy environment, for example, or if we are listening to a language that's not our native language. So to give you guys an example of just how profound this marriage of auditory and visual can be, there's an effect called the McGurk effect. So this was discovered back in the 70s, and basically it showed that if you're hearing somebody say ba, 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 however, if that voice is dubbed over a visual of someone saying ga, 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 guess what the final perception is going to be? Is it going to be a ba or a ga? So the answer is neither. The person listening is actually going to hear a totally different third phoneme, which is da. Pretty crazy, right? So at this point, this effect has been studied for a long time over the years. And what's especially crazy is that even if you know that they're doing an experiment on you about the McGurk effect, you're still gonna be subject to the McGurk effect. So knowing doesn't allow you to escape the phenomenon, which is pretty crazy. The other really interesting bit is that bilinguals are more prone to the McGurk effect than monolinguals. So this is just some really cool food for thought to make us think about how really, really strongly interconnected our visual and our auditory senses really are. Okay, here's my own McGurk effect experiment. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. So the third secret, you guys, is to use something called the as-if principle. So before I explain the as-if principle, I want to tell you guys that the grand majority of the people I work with tell me that the number one reason that they're learning North American English pronunciation and speech patterns is to feel more confident. So I don't know if that's the case for you guys as well, but I especially like this secret because it's going to allow you to feel more confident even if you're not exactly where you want to be at with your accent. So the as-if principle was first coined by a Harvard researcher named Ellen Langer, and she's published many research studies over the years. However, one is especially famous, and it's one she did back in the 70s. So in this experiment, she recruited a group of elderly gentlemen, and they stayed at some sort of a retreat center outside of Boston. So when they arrived, they were helped off their bus, and a lot of their measures were taken. So they had memory tests done, and different physiological tests were done to kind of see where they were at. So during the retreat, they were told that they have to act as if they're 20 years younger. So they had to pretend that they were back in the 50s, and all of the TV and the newspapers and everything that they were exposed to during the retreat was all to do with the 50s. There was nothing there telling them you're actually in the 70s and you're actually much older and you have all these other things going on. So at the end of the retreat, of course, all their measures were taken again. So memory tests, eyesight tests, everything. And researchers were really shocked to observe that these men had literally turned back the hands of time. Their blood pressure was better, their walking balance was better, their memory scores were better. So many different variables were literally back in the 50s. They had aged backwards. So it's a really, really powerful example of how our thinking, how our mindset can actually physiologically have really big effects on us. So I challenge you guys to try it. If you don't feel super confident about your accent, tell yourself, but how would I act if I had the accent that I wanted to have? How would I behave differently? How would I look differently? Would I dress differently? Would I carry myself differently? Would my posture change? I'm just throwing out ideas at you guys, but act as if you don't have an accent, or act as if you have the accent that you want to have would be a better way to phrase that, and see what happens. But my hope and my guess is that it'll make you feel more confident. So for a quick recap, you guys, our 3 secrets were to listen in slow motion, to watch the speaker's face, and then this last one, to use the as-if principle. If you guys have any friends who you think might find this video helpful, by all means, please share it with them. I really appreciate it. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. So the second secret is to watch the speaker's face. Watch how it moves, how much it moves, and watch a grand variety of speakers. Okay.